Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a really cool telephone, and this is Nick's telephone from Wyoming. And this was sent in to another repair company, and basically they sent it to me. And I have talked with Nick, and he wants to try to save this telephone. It has some meaning to him, and he wants to try to save it. And every telephone that I've ever seen like this has always had a problem with the main PC board and also the tone generator IC. And this is by Polyflame Concepts. And so it's one of their designer telephones, basically. And it's a very cool telephone. And this one has some pretty drastic issues going on with it. And as you can see, the telephone's plugged in. This is the initial checkout. And we are not getting any kind of a line seizure. So I'm going to show you what exactly happens when we dial this telephone. When we ring it. I'm going to go ahead and ring it now. We will get dial tone. But the number's sticking. That's because we're in the tone setting. Doesn't matter what we do. Now let's put it over in the pulse mode, and we may not even get dial tone. We may have to go through the whole setup again where we have to ring the telephone. And I'm going to go ahead and ring the telephone now. We didn't get anything, but it did seize the line. We'll try that again, or I'm going to leave it picked up and then try to ring it. And I'm not getting any dial tone. I'm not getting anything. So let's try to dial out. It dials a 9, no matter what button you push. And when you try to dial a 9, it will not. I just dialed a 0, and it dials a 9. I'm going to hit redial. It dials a 9. I'm going to hit the flash. It dials a 9. Hit the 1, it dials a 9. The number, 3, 2. So some numbers don't hit at all, and the ones that do hit dial a 9. So needless, and now we're not going to seize the line again, so I'm going to have to ring it. Oh, there it goes. It just kind of does crazy things. And so this telephone has got a lot of issues. And we're going to try to do some redesigning of this telephone, because I haven't been able to find the tone generator IC, and you're not going to find any boards to these. And I've seen a whole lot of these that had similar problems. There's not a whole bunch of them around, but the ones that I have seen have had some pretty serious problems. And it's probably design issues and poor choice of components that were used when they were manufacturing this telephone. So we're going to take a short break from the video, and we're going to try to see what kind of ideas that we can come up with to try to redesign this telephone so that Nick can use it and it be a usable telephone. But we have to get away from the original tone generator and maybe some of the original board because of the faulty components that they used and in the design of this telephone. So we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we are in the middle of the process of repairing this telephone. And so basically we're going to kind of run through a little bit what's been going on with this telephone. Like I said earlier in the video, I've seen quite a few of these telephones, and they all have the same problem. It's all created around the tone generator IC, and there's a few other bad parts that we find on the board, but this is the tone generator IC that's in this telephone. And it's not a crossable chip. And basically I was never able to find on any of these telephones, the tone generator IC, any information about them, really, not much of any. And so that's not uncommon with a lot of electronics. Sometimes you just can't find the information. It's just not out there. It's not available. And what is available is not enough to really do much with. So we've done a lot of research. I'm really, really busy in the shop. I have been for many, many, many years. And I really don't have time to do a lot of research when it comes to this kind of stuff. And so, you know, when I started seeing these telephones come in and them all have the same problem, I had already kind of went into it back then and made the decision that, hey, you know, if we could find this tone generator chip ever, we'd just start ordering them, or I would get some of them in and we'd kind of go from there. And was never able to do that. So basically what we had to do is come up with another idea, because another company, repair company, had sent this telephone in because Nick sent it to them, and they knew that nobody else was going to even look at this telephone or repair it, or if it was repairable, no one else was going to be able to do it except for us, and they sent it to us, and that's where Nick got lucky, because then Nick contacted us and had talked with me, and he said that this telephone meant something to him. He wanted to try to save it. And I talk to customers from time to time, and, you know, some of the phones have sentimental value to them. And so I wanted to do what I could for Nick. And but I don't have a lot of time to spend on research. But it turns out that I had to go through many, many different ICs and research them down to the PDF files and things, because what happens is I was trying to find something that I could cross this IC chip with, and I had to literally just go through a lot of information. So it took a while. And finally I found an IC chip that I thought would work, and I was only able to secure one of them, and it's in the unit right now, and it's located right here. And so basically, when you're trying different IC chips out on your main board, you can't just solder the chip in and then unsolder it and take it out and put another one in and take it out. You want to put sockets in there, and these are sockets. So basically, you remove the original, and then you put a socket in, and that way, whenever you have a chip that you think is going to maybe work in the situation in the circuit, then you plug it in, and if it doesn't work, then you can unplug it, and there's no soldering involved. It's a one-time thing. You solder it one time, it's a socket, and just like for a light bulb, you know, you're not soldering the light bulb in, you're just unscrewing it from the socket, and same thing, you unplug the IC chip from the socket, and there you go. So I was able to secure one of these IC chips, and bad news is I can't get any more of them. Can I get some later on down the road, or can I find some? I might, but these are no longer made, and as a lot of tone generators aren't, you know, a lot of them, they don't make them anymore, and so you have to get new old stock, or you have to find them where they're available. And I was able to secure one. I got my hands on it, and now it's in the unit and it works. So that's where we stand right now. And we're going to go ahead and do some checks on this telephone. So I'm going to move some of this out of the way, and I want to go ahead and plug the telephone in. As you can see, it sees the analyzer there. We do have dial tone, and we have a red light on our unit, and there's dial tone. But I'm not going to be concerned with that. What you need to do is watch the analyzer, and I'm going to go ahead and walk through my numbers here. I believe we're going to end in a 2 there. Now what I want to do is I want to hit flash. It's going to hang up. Brought dial tone back. I'm going to walk through our numbers again. Well, we have another button here. This is our hook switch, and I want to hang up from there, because in order to use redial, you have to use the manual switch, and that's the off and on switch for the phone. When you pick it up, telephone comes on. So I'm going to hang up. I'm going to release the hook switch, and I'm going to walk through our numbers again. Should end in a 2. Okay, I went 1 past 2. I'm going to hang. Oh, I'll just do a 2. So it ended in a 2 basically. I'm going to hang up. I'm going to hit redial. And when it's done dialing off and racking off the numbers, should end in a 2. And it did. So we know that that tone generator IC is going to pass in the circuit, and that we have found a cross. So what I want to do is I'm just going to tap on the microphone. It's right there. If you watch the red light there, we can tell that it's actually transmitting out. And we got our dial tone again. I'm going to go ahead and unplug the unit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break, and we're going to put everything back together again. We're going to do our final checks. But we were lucky that we were able to secure one chip and get the telephone to this condition at this point. And so we're going to go from there and put everything back together again, and we'll get some more video of it when we do our final checks. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we are finished up with this telephone. And so what we want to do now is our final checks. I'm going to go ahead and ring the telephone. I'm going to let that go a few times. I'll let it go one more time. When you answer this telephone, there's a red LED. I want to give you some dial tone. There's a high and low setting for the receiver volume. That's high, low, high, low, back to high. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and give you some dial tone. I want to go ahead and dial our numbers. If you watch the analyzer, you watch them go by. I'm going to end in a 2. I'm going to go ahead and hang up, and I'm going to hit redial. I'm going to go ahead and hang up, and since the dialing issue was one of the problems, or the problem, we're going to go ahead and do that again. I'm going to end in a 2. I'm going to hang up, hit redial. I want to hang up, dial a 2, and then I want to hit flash and bring dial tone back. There's your dial tone. In order to use redial, you have to dial your number. I'll just say I'll dial my shop number. I want to hang up and then hit redial. 235-6959. So we know that this telephone is working. What we want to do now is transmit into the unit. 1, 2, 3. If you watch that red light on the analyzer, every time you see that red light, that's an indication of 100% modulation on transmit. So we know that this telephone is ringing when you get a call. We know it's got receive, it's got transmit, it's dialing out now. What we can do is go ahead and call a time and temp number. These are very cool telephones. And the last time I talked to Nick, he said he was having a hard time finding any of them. And that's the reason, because most of them broke down, and once they did, they got put away or people threw them away. Didn't think they could ever get them repaired, and hard to find. So what I want to do now is I want to take the telephone and I want to plug it in to our switch box, and by pushing this button in, I get a line out. So we want to go ahead and call a time and temp. Give you some dial tone.
Good morning. When you need body work, we're a short drive away. Offenburg Body Center, 234-0330. Today is Tuesday, April 9th. The time is 3:25. Current temperature 72 degrees. Now the Belleville area weather forecast. Mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms tonight, lows in the low 60s. Mostly cloudy Tuesday, then becoming partly sunny in the afternoon, a high in the upper 70s.
Okay, we can call one other number. We can call my number, and it'll be busy. Give you some dial tone. Okay, so now that we know that this telephone is repaired, we can return it to Nick and he can start enjoying his telephone again. We get calls about these telephones from time to time, and it always seems to be the same problem with them. You know, they're a very cool telephone, people like them, and you know, they want to repair them. So now that we know that the IC chip tone generator crosses out to another chip, we can start looking for parts for these telephones in the future and kind of go from there. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.